Hey everyone, it's Norm here from IMCARS, joining me in downtown London, where today we are heading off to DK Engineering, which sells some of the world's most exclusive cars. I am talking F40s, F50s, Bugattis, Koenigsegg's, Paganis, and the likes, and also some surprises. So join me, we're heading off from downtown London right now, and we will show you all around DK Engineering. Got my coffee, and now we're just a couple minutes away from DK Engineering. So this is going to be exciting, pulling up, seeing if they've got any cool cars outside. Obviously, I've never seen their facility in person, so we'll show you guys outside and then hopefully give you guys a nice tour inside. Now, I've got to say, the drive just coming out here is absolutely stunningly beautiful. We're outside in the English countryside, and this is now DK Engineering. So, what a stunning looking building. Recognize that from the photos. Let's go in and see what they've got. Wow. Wow.
So, original Cobra, it was born a slab-sided narrow-body car and then was restored in the US by Mike McCluskey, who I think is pretty well known as the Cobra guy, to the previous owner's requirements. It was his dad's racing number. His dad used to race Heelys in the SCCA, I think, in the 50s. So it was restored to his sort of ultimate configuration. He adored the car, and he kept a little logbook every time he drove the car, and it's much less of a mileage, fuel stop, all of that, and a lot more of, man, it's really fast, and like, damn, it hooks up in third, that sort of thing, which is really, really lovely. And he took it to a whole bunch of events, loads of Ford shows and everything else. And there's photos of it in the file with like a P51 Mustang. And at one of these events, he met a flight lieutenant for SR-71 Blackbird. Yeah. There's a little letter in the file saying, in the logbook being like, met a guy who flies SR-71 Blackbird. He's invited me to Edwards to take photos of the car with the plane. And there's a photo of the Cobra next to an SR-71, which is like the coolest thing of all time, basically. So it's sort of, he wasn't, there's a lot of cars here with a lot of provenance, and he wasn't the most famous or anything else, but his time with this car is super special. So it's really nice to have here. The car's been in the UK and hasn't done much mileage since, but it's a lovely thing.
Wow.
275 Competizione Clienti, so you've got outside extra vents behind the rear wheels, outside fuel filler. This car was new to Ireland and raced at a whole bunch of really small tracks when it was new, and then it's had a lot of sort of quite prominent owners and has raced a good deal in its life, and now it looks pretty good. So,
beautiful.
Everything in here is sort of is a mix. There's some stuff that's for sale, there's some stuff that's sort of just visiting, and everything else in between, really. The F40 is lovely, so it's 18,000 kilometres from new. It's a European supplied car, so obviously our cars are slightly prettier than the American cars, and they have a couple of differences that you'll probably be able to note. Whilst as you've mentioned,
They're like different side markers, different emissions controls.
So I guess subjectively a little bit cleaner. And whilst we've obviously sold cars to the US and to Canada, we actually don't see any no US cars coming back. So, but we see quite a lot of cars here. You'll see some others. We've sold 3 or 4 cars this year, F40s that is. We have 2 or 3 for sale at any one time, and our workshop probably services 40 per year.
So I'm going to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
So I've always been a Lambo guy.
Okay.
My whole life.
Okay.
So I drive a Huracan
right
now. I've never been a Ferrari guy.
Okay.
Do you know my dream car?
Hopefully it's that.
Ferrari F40.
There you go.
But so the last year of production was 92, right?
Yeah.
So when I buy one day, because I will have one, I need you to find me a July 92 build.
Okay.
My birth year and month. And I'm going to get the plate old as me.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
Mark me down. Put me in your book. July '92 build.
Yeah.
You call me.
I'm sure.
And we're gonna see what we can do at the time.
Absolutely.
This has always been like first car to do 200 miles per hour. It's just like, for me, this is like,
it's the king, really. It's
real.
Everyone knows what it is. Everyone can tell you it's a Ferrari. Most people can tell you it's an F40.
Wow. Unreal. Wow. Crazy.
So this is one of 22 UK supplied right-hand drive cars.
Yeah.
There was one other right-hand drive Lusso that went into Australia through the UK anyway, so 23. This is a car that we've restored in-house. The car itself is quite interesting. It did Goodwood revival 6 times in the 90s. The owner at the time couldn't afford a short wheelbase, so he sort of thought, I'll do a Lusso, despite it being the first Ferrari that was sort of the luxury model. So it's had a roll cage in it for a while, since the 90s. Outside fuel filler.
Interesting.
Sports exhaust. Got a 5-speed GTO style gearbox in the middle of it. Uprated brakes, and then we've dropped the headlights for the inset driving lights for brake cooling ducts on the nose. And then it's gone from a 3 litre to a 3.3. So it's sort of fast road, but classic styling, really. So the bumpers we've removed as well, but we restored the body so the mount points are still on the inside of the metalwork, so if you wanted to fit them, you could just drill through.
Wow.
But Verde Pinot over chocolate, it's a fabulous colour combination as well, so.
Wow.
Super cool thing. Another 275, so lots of variations of 275. This is a long nose car. This is an alloy car, so alloy cars have a little join at the top and at the back, and this rail is slightly longer, which hides the join between the aluminium panel on the top.
Interesting.
It's a 6-carb car, so in this configuration with alloy and 6 carbs and right-hand drive, it's one of 6, which makes it quite special as they go. But a really nice thing. So just come in.
You can tell it's much longer.
Yeah, so you can see a little bit of the difference in the nose.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the Alfa Romeos, this was originally born a 4-door convertible and then was rebodied in a sort of Grand Prix style by Neil Twyman, who's very well known with old Alfas and Ferraris and the like. So it's a 6C, the 4-door convertible is quite a big, hefty thing, and this is more fitting with a sort of, it's been built as a Grand Tourer. It's got a 2.6 litre engine by Setford & Co, built Alfa engines, everything else. But a lovely thing, super usable, fast, obviously. Still has its centre throttle configuration, which is a fun thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a cool thing. And Ferrari 50. So they've got 349 production cars. They've got 19 pre-production cars. Of that, there were some crash test cars and everything else. This is one of the pre-production cars. So they have the little 349 plaque in the front for production cars, and this one doesn't have one. It's
Interesting.
So it is a sort of material finishes, I guess, in terms of McLaren, you'd be looking at like a validation prototype. So there are about 45 differences between this and a production car. And
I watched your guys' video on that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. So some are more obvious than others.
You were very detailed on the differences, like very detailed.
You'll see a few. We see a lot of them. They're all wonderful and they're all different in their own right. But you notice that little things. It's also only done 1,900 kilometres.
Wow.
So it was originally going to go to Brunei to be converted to, well, it was originally purchased for Brunei to be converted to right-hand drive to go over there, but that didn't happen, and then it's really just lived in museums since, and it's with an owner in the UK who has another car to drive, and this car.
Another F50 to drive.
Yeah. Hasn't covered as many miles as such. But,
so do you know why, when Ferrari built this, or was, I guess, planning it, why they built 349?
No.
I will tell you why,
Okay.
and then you'll know.
Perfect.
So when Ferrari's, I guess, marketing team
Yeah.
was designing the car, or sales and planning team, they sat down and they figured how many of these would we be able to sell globally. Well, their team came up with 350.
Yeah.
So naturally they said, let's build 349 so there's always one person that can't have it.
Yeah.
So that's why they built 349.
Cool. Magic.
Beautiful. Wow.
Okay, this one is obviously
Wow.
a box fresh, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. This is a little space that we built just before COVID to sort of hand over cars to their new owners. And then the pandemic happened and then no one came to see us, so we just put nice shiny clean cars in here so we can all enjoy them. So.
And these are becoming, I think, more valuable than an F50 and F40, are they not?
Yeah, they're super rare, so 272 plus 8 or so cars. So we sort of see through our workshops probably 5 or 6 a year for service work.
I think it looks better from the back. The front, these to me make it look, I'm not gonna say cheap, but the rest of the car looks, I think, pretty good.
Yeah.
Venturi. Interesting. Casual Porsche Carrera GT coming in. Wow. So that was my tour of DK Engineering here in England, and I want to say a sincere thank you to Luke for taking the time to show me around. Luke is sort of their historian, and he does like the writing of their ads, and obviously he's the tour guide, which, Luke, thank you so much for this tour. I was absolutely blown away. There was so many parts of the tour that I couldn't film, like their service garages and kind of like a restoration area where they have customer cars. But holy cow, in there, I think we saw a total of 3 F50s. There was at least 3 F40s, if not 4. One of them was actually like a paint to sample special color, which I was blown away. I was getting a full restoration done. Insane car. I'm gonna try to like search some of these out online, because if there's public pictures of them, I'll put them in this video. There were some old Jaguar XKSS's, which are just stunning old and very expensive, very valuable Jaguars. What else do we see? Just like casual, like a casual car here is like a 360 Challenger Dolly or like a 430 Scuderia. Like they have those tucked away in the back, like nobody cares about them. Saw the white, I think it was 1993 or 1994 Venturi, which is sort of like, they refer to it as like a Japanese Ferrari F40. Super cool car. He said around $500,000 pounds for that. So pretty cheap, on the cheaper end if you're not quite at the F40 level. Very cool car. I didn't really film a proper video. You got like a portrait mode video of that. And this is just such an incredible facility. I am leaving here working a lot harder to make something like this happen one day. There had to have been, oh man, easily $100 million worth of cars here at DK Engineering. So thank you again to Luke. Thank you again to everyone at DK Engineering. Even when I came in, like the hosts that greeted me, super friendly, super nice. Just like great. You can tell everybody here has like a great demeanor about them. So I'm gonna link everything for DK Engineering in the video description. And obviously, if you're in the market for a hypercar, give DK Engineering a call. I know I will be looking for that July 92 build Ferrari F40 hopefully soon. All right, if you enjoyed this video, if you could do me a huge favor, click the like button down below, check out some of our other videos on the channel, and be sure to subscribe. It literally takes 1 second, and it helps our channel out grow immensely. I actually like that one the best. The final one's the best.